Welcome everybody. I have to apologize. We were having all sorts of trouble with the stream. We missed the entire qualifying session trying to get the stream back up. But we got it back up just in time to see the red lights go out. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to commentate on this race from a point of view where I have no idea what happened in qualifying because I wasn't watching. I was desperately trying to get things back together, and now it just seems like the stream is working. Let me know in the comment section if everything appears clear, and of course if my voice sounds clear. At the moment Big T leads the way, Logic P2, then we've got Fricky in P3. Remember, this championship is not about the individual, it's about the team. So we have Big T in the lead, followed by Logic, followed by Fricky, then Panda, then Triple M. All of these drivers so quick, lots of them with recent experience of this layout. Boy in P6, Skull in P7. Remember the colours of the cars, the liveries of the cars rather. These are 4 individual leagues taking part. Shane coming into the pits pretty early on. I wonder if he got damage early on. But he's come into the pits almost immediately. It's lap 2 of 26, something we have seen in common with all of the races we've had so far here in Baku. It's a lot of safety cars, a lot of mistakes, a lot of retirements. Hopefully tonight will not be the case. Of course, this is the fastest the leagues have to offer. Everybody coming together on one evening. There we go, good to have the judge in the comment section. We don't see you here very often. Of course, if this is your first visit to League v League, 4 leagues take on each other on a Tuesday night. SAFRL, JPR, LSA and SKR. At the moment, it's an SKR car that leads the way. It's Big T in the green and black liveried car. Then we got Logic in P2. It's followed by Fricky in P3. Both of those cars LSA cars. Of course, a little later on, if we get a safety car or any stoppage in the race, I'll bring up those championship standings so you can have a better idea of what happened there in round 1. It's lap 2 of 26, and already DRS becoming a major factor in this race. As we saw on Sunday night, as we saw on Monday night, the medium compound definitely the most popular compound to be on. Shane came into the pits early on. I think that may have been for wing damage. He's come out on a set of softs. He'll be banking on a safety car coming out, because the softs around here do not last too long, round about 8 laps, and you start to see them fall off pretty badly. Of course, we don't have to worry about anybody at the front getting any tyre advantages. Everybody from P1 down to P13 on a set of medium tyres. Awake's going with something different. He's going on the hard compound, looking to go deeper into the race. Then we've also got mediums for Spikes and Harsh Cartoon. Shane the only car on a set of softs. And we're already down to 17 cars because Convoy has DNF'd here in round 2. So in terms of teams, I believe it's SKR, LSA, followed by another LSA. You wouldn't believe it, followed by another LSA. So LSA 2, 3 and 4, they're doing a great job. We have Panda in P6. I think that's the top JPR car at the moment in the field. We've got Skull in P7, another SKR driver. Ooh, and we've got two big retirements in the field. It's caused a virtual safety car. Surprised it hasn't caused a little more than that. Two cars involved in that incident, and it's two big names. We didn't get to see the incident, but Big T and Logic, two of the big names coming into this League v League round 2, been eliminated early on. What that has done, it's handed LSA a 1-2. And I believe we have SAFRL in P3 with Triple M. Then Panda, top JPR performer so far, in 4th place. Of course, those two retirements, that's a big loss. It's a big loss to this field. Of course, two incredibly quick drivers. Of course, Shane would have preferred a full safety car so he'd be able to catch up to the back of the queue. He's not going to be able... Do we have a safety car? Well, luckily for me, you guys at home get to see what I see on screen. Clearly my screen says virtual safety car. If it turns out there is a real safety car out on track, don't be too surprised. It's something I've seen many times on this channel. We simply get the wrong notification. We do have what appears to be a stationary safety car at the exit of turn 2. So even though it says virtual safety cars on your screen, don't read too much into that. We may be under full safety car conditions. You never know when this game's going to throw something at you, and that suggests we are under full safety car conditions. Everybody diving into the pits, Panda getting on the brakes really late, trying to get the car slowed down. So important to get the car slowed down, especially in F124. Penalty used to be 5 seconds, it's now 10. Could be a deal breaker, could be what cost you your race at the end of the day. Still have the virtual safety car notification on our screens, and as you can see, that is not a virtual safety car. That is very much a safety car in front of us. Why the game does that from time to time, I do not know. This will be fantastic for all of the drivers that didn't have the start they would have wanted, with the exception of Big T, Logic and Convoy. They didn't have the start they would have wanted. But the safety car cannot save them. Fortunately, if you are able to keep your wheels on, it's going to bring you back to the queue, get another opportunity at things. Evidence of our previous rounds here on Friday, Sunday and Monday. There were a lot of retirements, lots of safety cars in that race, so don't expect this to be our last safety car. Of course, last night we had a safety car with just 3 laps remaining in the race. For the time being, it's Fricky at the top of the field, followed by Levy. We then have a Wakes in P3, Boy in P4, Triple M P5. This field has switched. Some of the drivers, actually all of the drivers, have come into the pits with the exception of Levy. Of course, Wakes stayed out. He was on a set of hard compounds from the start. Those tyres have not done their job just yet in the race, so he couldn't pit. And then the only driver that started on the medium compound that has chosen to stay out, hold on to track position, is Levy. So he should have a slight grip advantage at the restart, but for how long that will last, we don't know. Of course, we saw on Sunday, on Monday, drivers starting to pit round about lap 12 to 14 on that set of mediums. Of course, depending what happens with the safety car in the next couple of laps, all of those numbers will change. With all the juggling we did to get the stream going, somehow we got, when I hit stream, When I hit go live, the 5 red lights were just going off. Got it done just in time. Thanks for everybody for being patient and for everybody rejoining. Got a few viewers in here already, and it's good to have all of you here. Of course, we can take this time under the safety car just to bring up your championship order. Remember, there's no individual championship in this league versus league. So it's team versus team. LSA leading that battle with 56 points. They had a very strong showing in round 1. Followed by SAFRL on 21, then JPR 14, and SKR making up the field on 11. We are still under safety car conditions. Logic in the comment section, not where he'd want to be. He'd want to be behind the wheel of the car still. Good to have you on the stream. Let us know what happened. Was that a collision? Hopefully the stream isn't about to go again. I'm just getting a few red lights on my monitor, so we're doing our best. Brought up the championship. Let's just have a look at the calendar. Of course, round 1 was a mystery track, which turned out to be an interesting race. Then round 2, we've got Baku. Next week we'll be at Spa. Those are set circuits. Of course, safety car is coming in. So the drivers will be able to put in time for next week Tuesday, knowing where they're going, knowing they're going to Spa. Of course, I'll bring up that calendar again because there's some interesting additions to it. So Logic and Big T out of this race early on. 2 of the contenders for a race victory. 2 of the quicker drivers in the field, now both sitting in the comment section. I'd invite them into the comms box, but they might be feeling quite animated at the moment. Might get a more expressive comms section than you are used to. Levy leads the way, then Fricky P2, we've got Boy P3, Triple M P4, then Awakes P5, followed by Skull in P6. Panda a little further down. You can see all the red cars at the rear of the field. Those are all JPR cars. JPR not having the start they would have wanted. Of course, I can't represent JPR because I'm sitting up here in the comms box, but it's probably a good thing that I don't drive for JPR, because things would be even more disastrous. We've had another retirement. We've got a caution flashing. This time it doesn't show virtual. We have our second safety car of the evening. It's Awakes. 4 DNFs. We started with 18. We're down to 14. It's only lap 7. Tonight's going to be a rough one. Of course, this is now our second safety car. It's going to give me an opportunity to bring up that calendar once more. Like I said, next week the drivers know where they're going. They're going to Spa. They can put the practice in, try and get their setup spot on. That's what they'll be doing. But come around 4, 5 and 6, you can see there's 3 circuits in a row. One says LSA track, then JPR track, then SKR track. What that means is that each league is in charge for 1 round to select the circuit. That circuit will be shared amongst their own team members. So that particular league can do all the practice they want, getting ready for that event. The other 3 leagues will not be told what track that is. They will only be told 5 minutes prior to the race. So those will be interesting, sort of having a league with home ground advantage. Let's see if it will work in favor of some of those leagues that would like to catch up to LSA. LSA had a very, very strong round 1. This is Levy in P1. He's going to be in the lead at the restart. He's again the only driver that has not pit. He stayed out on those mediums in the first safety car. He had the second safety car. Thought he'd surely respond this time around. He's decided to stay out. He's happy with the medium tyre and he's trying to stick to the initial strategy. Take these round to lap 13 or 14, then get on the hard and finish things off. But of course everybody around him changing their strategy, playing it by ear, really just seeing what happens next. Sometimes you're going to have to change your strategy as the race evolves, as it changes right beneath your feet. Going to have another lap behind the safety car. The field is together, so this will be the final lap under the safety car. When we get going again, it's going to be Lebby from Fricky, from Boy, from Triple M, then it's Ferree. All of these names I've been reading out. I've commentated on them at some stage in the past few days. I think the only one that hasn't got any commentary from me in the past few days would be Fricky there in P2, Boy in P3. Everybody else, names looking very familiar. We also have Destroyer in the comms, Logic, Big T, the Judge, Death Queen. Of course we had a few more viewers, but because we got the stream going so late, those disappeared, because those were probably the drivers that were listening to the stream in the background, so I do apologize. What that usually means is we're going to get a few views after the race. Let me know in the comment section, is anybody tired of this race circuit yet? Of course, for myself, I drove it on Friday night. I watched it on Sunday afternoon, commentated it on Sunday night, and then again yesterday night, and here we are again. I feel like a resident of Baku. Safety car will surely pull off into the distance. There we go, confirmation, safety car in this lap. Safety car will pull off into the distance, and once it gets into the pits, then Lebby will take control of this race. Of course, he will become the temporary safety car. Everybody has to drive according to him. He's going to be the one that decides when to go. And of course, no overtaking till that start finish line. Of course, we did see some battles, or at least some attempted battles into turn 1 at restarts last night. Hopefully we get a better view, and yes we do. Lebby's going to go through in turn 1. No late lunges at this stage. Everybody just staying in formation. So we got Lebby from that LSA, followed by another LSA. What is Triple? Triple is SAFRL, so a good mix of cars. Of course we had an SKR out front. That is no longer the case. Hopefully SKR can have a bit of a recovery drive in this race. The only league I'm not too familiar with is LSA in terms of their calendar, so I'm not sure how recently they've been to the Baku circuit. leading up to this race. But I assure you the other three leagues, they have very, very recent history with this circuit. Getting so close to the wall there, Levy. So close to just clipping the wall. Of course, clipping the wall on that exit. Of course, it can result in a retirement. Just a tap of the back wheel might have been enough to break the momentum. Bring Fricky right onto the back of his gearbox, right on the diffuser. Of course, this is a track that is very, very DRS dependent. Speeds of 200, 350 kilometers an hour. I have no idea why I I didn't, but I almost referenced miles an hour. And that would have been a first. That would have been a first on the broadcast. No idea why I almost did that. Race control says DRS is back enabled. Of course, takes one lap after the safety car for DRS to return. It's now... Yes, there we go. There it is. Confirmation DRS is open. Ricky's not going to be close enough to make a move this time round. But now he knows he just needs to stay on the gearbox of that car. And oh my goodness, not again. We're under a virtual safety car. Hopefully this time that is all it is, and it's really a virtual safety car, because these guys just can't catch a break. Every single time they start to get into the rhythm of the race finds itself a stoppage. Things have been messy. I don't see a retirement, just the 4 retirements we had initially. So don't know what triggered the virtual safety car. We'll keep our eyes on that pit lane exit, make sure nothing comes out. But I think this time around it will just be the virtual safety car. DRS is enabled, and that's confirmation that the virtual safety car is over. Drivers can get back underway, and hopefully this time they can get back underway for a little longer. Lebby leads from Fricky, then Boy in P3, Triple M P4, it's Faree in P5. The judge just saying, it's broken, it's broken. Yes, it is. Just like McLaren's team management. Fricky now leads the way. Boy P2, Triple M P3. It's Faree promoted up another position. What has happened to Lebby? He's come into the pits. Thought he maybe had some sort of an incident, but no, he's come into the pits. Remember, he's been on those medium tyres since the start of the race. Didn't pit under the first safety car or the second or the virtual. Stayed out there the whole time. Now he's come into pit and he's going to find himself at the rear of the field. So obviously the field hasn't had enough time to spread out after that last safety car. Really puts you at a strong disadvantage. Just didn't react to the rest of the field when everybody came in. Maybe he was trying to avoid an overstack. Don't know. But now finds himself at the rear of the field when he was at the front of the field not so long ago. LSA, Boy out front. Then we've got Fricky in P2. It's all about LSA at the moment. In P3 we've got an SAFRL car and it's coming under pressure. Coming under heavy pressure. It's Faree in P4. Then Divan. I think that's the top of the SKR cars. He's followed by another SKR car. That's Andre in P6. Then Shane didn't have a good start to the race, but all of these safety cars and shuffling around has helped him get back up into P7. He's going to be challenging Andre for that position shortly. Let's ride on board with the JPR driver as he chases the SKR driver through this final straight, one of the fastest straights in Formula 1. And once you think you've had just enough, you haven't had enough. DRS becomes active. And you just hear this engine bottoming out. DRS on DRS. Will it be a double overtake? Not quite. Double overtake on Divan. He loses 2 positions. 1 to Andre, 1 to Shane. Always such a difficult position when you're racing as a team. Sometimes you want to let your teammate by because he's clearly quicker, and you'll end up letting another car or two get by in the process. You're trying to play the team game, not the individual game. Sometimes it's something you're not quite used to. Make a mistake, give the other team an advantage. At the moment, LSA not giving anybody an advantage, not giving anybody a sniff. They lead 1-2. Triple M, he'd like to stay with those two as long as he possibly can, but he's still coming under pressure from It's Free. Shane in P5. Doing a good job so far for the JPR team, leads the way for the JPR drivers. Then Andre in P2. Of course, he was just in front of Shane, so those two cars have swapped places. Nick Gishin, another one of these drivers, such a quick driver in the field. Just seems to be driving out of position at the moment. Of course, could get another safety car. We could get many more safety cars. That means this order will mean next to nothing. Every time something like that happens, the slate does get wiped clean. People come into the pits, they change their strategy. It's lap 14 of 26. Are we going to see a pass? No, we're not. Just tucks in behind Nick Gishin for the time being. We go back to the front to have a look at the LSA cars because they're awfully close together. Just 2/10 between the two. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this off. They could try and just swap positions, tow each other around in DRS for a couple of laps, try and get away from the rest of the field. That's probably what they'll be doing. I don't think we'll see them battle with each other. Of course, there is really no point. No individual championship. If you finish 1-2, doesn't matter what order it's in. It's all about the points for the team. Get as many of your cars into the top 10, hopefully the top 5 as possible. LSA, then it's Free in P3. We've got Triple M. This is an SAFRL car. Slightly different liveries, but I think this is the same team. It's Free and Triple M for SAFRL. So we've got an LSA 1-2, SAFRL 3-4. And we've got a JPR in P5 and an SKR in P6. So all the leagues taking up the top 6 positions. So lights out and away we go. That's what it says there on the halo for Andre. Ricky out front. Boy, P2, told you these two may just trade places. One teammate gets DRS, drags the other one around, then swap places for the next lap, repeat. Try and get away from this field. At the moment they're not doing quite enough. They just over DRS, 1.3 seconds. They're going to have to do a little bit more. At the moment it's Free, just able to hold on to those two. And of course, if there's any funny business, if the two teammates somehow find a way of running into each other, that's going to bring the rest of the drivers right back into this. 1.3 seconds. It's the gap not coming down, it's also not going up, just staying consistent. Shane at the moment in a bit of a bubble. He's got a gap behind him of 2.2 seconds down the road to Andre, and then a gap of 2.7 seconds up the road to Triple M. So not much around him at the moment. He's almost got the track to himself. Just put in the laps. Not worry about defense or making any overtakes, at least for the time being. The man at the front, at least the men at the front, you can see they're just trading places once again. And of course no defense, no battling, not needed. And they head off into turn 1, they've just traded places, but the points will remain the same. I believe a 1-2 is, unless we've changed the point scoring system. If it's a normal point scoring system, then 44 points on offer for a 1-2. Of course, the teams do have more than 2 drivers, so it will be an even bigger scalp than that. See LSA already on 50 points. We've got a caution flashing away in the corner of our screens, but it disappears as quickly as it appeared. We're back underway. Boy P1, Fricky P2, then it's Ferree P3. I'm sure Judge is enjoying me saying Fricky in P2. That's not you, Judge. For a second I thought it was undercover. But you're in the comment section, so unless you're driving with one hand and a keyboard in the other, and if that's the case, we're going to need some proof. So Shane in P5, up the road from him, this is Triple M. He's chasing down, it's Ferree, not quite close enough to make any sort of an overtake this time around. That gap 9/10 of a second. You really need the gap to be closer to half a second when you open up DRS to have a proper opportunity into turn 1. Of course, Oscar Piastri was able to pull off that feat against Charles Leclerc from almost 7/10 back, 6.5 tenths back when he opened up DRS. Incredible top speeds from the McLaren. Of course, there are some FIA questions floating around that car, but we'll probably only know anything next week. Not going to be doing anything with the quick turnaround for Singapore. At the front of the race, still Fricky, then Boy P2, then it's Ferree. He's having a solid race. He hasn't quite had the pace to get involved with those LSA cars, but he's doing just enough to stay with them. Of course, that continues to apply the pressure. These two would want to be getting on with it. The plan would be to get up the road. And now they can see they're not getting up the road. In fact, Ferree is catching up to the LSA cars, and he's doing so awfully quickly. He may bring Triple M with him if that becomes a 3-car dice and it just becomes a little messy. Of course, it hasn't been messy up until now because it's just been the 2 LSA cars, but if the SAFRL car does get involved, all of a sudden this becomes 4th position. We might see these teammates have to get a little bit more aggressive. Ferree would prefer if Triple M could join him in this battle. 2 versus 2. At the moment he's 1.5 seconds adrift from the battle, so he's going to have to do a little bit of work, and hopefully, well, you look at that. That is the power of DRS, and I've got to wonder what is he running on that rear wing. That was incredibly quick. Went from P3 straight into P1, made it look easy in the process, and surely there can't be much of a rear wing on that car. Maybe pulling some McLaren styles, who knows. Skull becomes the latest retirement, and lap 18 becomes the number of our new safety car. Of course, we saw safety cars even later than this last night. We saw a safety car come out on lap 23 of 26. What will this do? Drivers stay out, hold on to track position. I don't know if that's going to be the case. A lot of drivers already on slightly older tires. Got to follow the leader here to see what does the leader do. How does the rest of the field respond? Will they follow the leader? Will they stay out, hold on to track position, force him to come through the field? Probably one of the most difficult places to be in this particular situation. Do I pit, don't I pit? At least if you're the man in P2, P3, you can just respond to what the driver ahead of you does. If you are the driver ahead, you're making all the choices, and you're hoping that you don't make any wrong choices. Safety car is out. We're going to ride with its Ferree to see if he peels off into the pits. I think the softs, Fricky asking, rather the judge asking if the softs can go to the end. I believe they can. It would be 8 laps to the end, and some of those laps would be under safety car. So I think they would be able to get them to the end. The medium might be the safer bet, but it's Ferrari's not taking that advice. He's put on the soft compound, as has Boy, as has Triple M. It's Ferrari, Fricky, all of those cars, all of those drivers in the top 5, all coming into the pits, putting on a fresh set of softs. We're going to see the fastest lap times coming down severely in these last few laps. It's Ferrari. He's going to lead at the restart. Then he's going to have the 2 LSA drivers who were 1 and 2 for so long in this race. They're going to be just behind him on a brand new set of soft tyres and feeling very eager to retake their positions in this race. Triple M, he's in P4. He'll be looking to help out his teammate in the lead. If he can clear those 2 LSA cars as well, that would be very beneficial. Then Shane in P5, he'll appreciate the final safety car. Just brings the field together. He's on a brand new set of mediums though. This could come into play later. Of course, depending on how you treat those softs, how quickly those softs go off. Of course, if the JPR driver is able to stay on the back of those cars, keep the pace, and if those softs do drop off in any way in the last lap or two, he should be the driver with the advantage. His first job is don't let the soft runners ahead of you get too far ahead of you. Further back in the field, Andre in P6, then Nick Gishin, another JPR driver in P7, Spikes in P8. Mr. Rem. Libby, JPR driver, was out front not so long ago. Then Divan, SKR, Panda, JPR, and then Harsh Cartoon. At the rear of the field, another SKR driver. At the moment, SAFRL would love it if the race ended under safety car. This would be a great result. Of course, they still have the opportunity to get a second car on the podium. They have their second driver there, Mr. M, in P4. It's all going to be about this restart. Are the drivers going to be aggressive into turn 1? We saw some aggressive driving last night at one of the safety car restarts. If you are hearing a lot of noise rustling in the background, I do apologize. That's the sliding doors going crazy as a result of some almost Cape Town-esque winds outside. Speaking of Cape Town, where is Staffy? Is Staffy here? Staffy, are you in the comment section? Are you watching? Probably not. If he was here, he would have already said woof. That's usually his greeting line. Not much longer to go in this race. We've had a lot of safety cars, just the 2 penalties on the screen. Of course, if they're severe penalties, with the field this close, it's really going to hurt you. Speaking of severe penalties, well, that hurts. The 2 drivers with penalties on our screen, that is Spikes and Harsh Cartoon, the drivers in P8 and P13. Those are not, let me repeat, those are not time penalties. Those are drive-throughs for both the drivers. Can't be served under safety car. So they're going to have to come in the next 3 laps, serve that drive-through, or they will be disqualified. Ooh. Thought for a second the driver had too much of a weave and went straight into the wall, but that was somebody's internet connection playing up. Got now 5 retirements in the race. Skull, Wakes, Big T, Logic, Convoy. What an incident between Big T and Logic, 2 of the race contenders for the victory. Retiring early on. Giving some of the names that expected to be in the midfield an opportunity to be at the front. It's Faree. He's going to control the restart, and immediately he has to go defensive. Goes to the inside, make sure there's no way through for now, and we've already seen an incident in the back. We don't get a good view of it, but it is a red car. I think it's Shane again. Yes, it is. Well, he's just going to be frustrated at this point. He's done this track so many times in the last few days. Would have thought he had it perfected by now, and he's still having just a difficult race. Every time he starts coming back, starts getting into the tune of things, finds himself taking another step back. It's Faree still out front, doing the job for SAFRL. For how much longer? Because those LSA cars do look hungry. There's 2 of them. They can work together as teammates. Of course, the only thing you have as a lead driver in one of these battles is your battery, is your ERS. That's your only defense. Drivers behind you are going to have that very same ERS, plus the additional help of DRS and even slipstream, because that's how long that straight is. 2 kilometers down that straight. Of course, the circuit just a touch shorter than Jeddah. Jeddah 6.1 kilometers. This one just over 6 kilometers. That's why Jeddah is still classified the longest street track on the calendar. But Baku is second, only by a few hundred meters. DRS is enabled. We've had 1 lap since the safety car came in. Guys can now open up those rear wings and have some fun again. It's Faree will have been enjoying all that time that DRS was not active, but now he knows his job's about to get a little harder. It's Faree at the front. Boy P2, then Fricky P3. Those 2 LSA cars, they were out front for a while, weren't able to pull away. Faree did a fantastic job to stay with them. And then obviously got the overtake, went from P3 straight into P1. It was a double overtake into turn 1, got the job done long before the breaking point. And since then, LSA have not challenged him for the lead just yet. They are close behind, just haven't seen too much aggression from them just yet. Judge mentioning that JPR having a bit of a nightmare. We've got SKR P13 at the rear of the field. We have an SAFRL car in P12, Shane P11. Not where he wants to be. Then the car ahead of him on the road, Divan. He's just set the fastest lap of the race. He's in P10. We've got Panda for JPR. Another driver for JPR is Lebby. He's up in P8. Then Nick Gishin, P6. I think this is the top performing JPR driver here this evening. Now Triple sets the fastest lap at 141.1. Of course, all of these drivers on relatively fresh softs. All of these drivers with the tank as light as it's going to get. This is when we're going to see the very best lap times on offer. Lots of lockups around the circuit, so important to keep your concentration right to the very end. Of course, we saw on Sunday Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz in the very closing stages of the race. So close to getting points. Just finding themselves both in the wall. Not where you'd expect to see an accident. Down a straight. Of course, none of these drivers will have slipped into a relaxed mode. We see sometimes the drivers slip into a relaxed mode in the final laps of the race, but that's usually when the field is all gapped out. This field is far from gapped out. There's still a lot of positions on offer. It's lap 23 of 26. That's when we got a safety car last night. Seems like that caution has been cleared and we're safe to go. When Boy goes over the line, it's going to be lap 24, and now it's officially too late for any more safety cars. Ferrari retakes the lead of the race. This is going to come down to who's got DRS on the final lap. Such close driving between these two. Ferrari still out front. LSA still threatening. Boy and Fricky, P2, P3, giving it everything. You can see the lockups. They're on the absolute edge, using all of the racetrack, getting close to the barriers. This is when you pull out absolutely everything. If there was any sandbagging, I assure you it's all gone now. These drivers on the limit, giving it their all. You can just see there, it's Ferrari just getting slightly out of shape on the exit. Now heads off into the castle section, such an important part of the race circuit. Not a very long part of the race circuit, but extremely important to the rest of the lap. And of course, a site of many retirements. See 5 cars in that frame. That's the top 5. It's Ferrari, Boy, Fricky, Andre, and Triple M all in the same shot. With just 2 laps to go, we've had a retirement. I think it's too late in the race to affect any sort of safety car. We do have a caution, and Andre becomes the latest retirement in the race. If you're Death Queen in the comment section, you're probably not too impressed right now. Andre and Skull both retired. No, Death Queen also supports Spikes. Spikes still very much in this race. So all of your support's going to have to go in one direction now. It's Ferrari leads the way, Boy P2, then Fricky P3. Wonder if those LSA cars just accepted that position for now. They know they can get the DRS on the final lap, make the difference. Maybe they don't want to be in front with 1 lap to go. Of course, as you see in oval racing over in the States, where slipstream is so important, sometimes you don't want to be in the lead with a few laps to go. You want to be the last driver to get the taste of slipstream. So oval racing seems very easy, but it comes with its own strategies. No DRS in Indy. It's all about staying within the slipstream of the car ahead, otherwise it becomes very difficult to stay with the car ahead. It's Ferrari leads from the 2 LSA cars, and is he just starting to open up a gap? Not really. Just 500ths of a second, half a second. Close as the LSA cars are going to get. Remember, they're going to continue closing the gap. They'll be using battery, they'll be using slipstream, and when they open up that DRS, that'll be the final tool they have at their disposal. Let's try and have a look at your leader. Doesn't look like they were close enough. Thought they were going to be a lot closer than that. I think that is brilliant battery management from It's Ferrari. I think that's what we're seeing. Just able to deploy that battery at the right time. Don't want to read out the battery levels in case any of the drivers are listening, but as for the viewers, you can see them there on your screen, and the LSA drivers, well, they've got a lot of it. It's lap 26 of 26. Is It's Ferrari going to pull off a brilliant victory here in Baku, or is he going to have it hijacked? Is he going to have it hijacked by the two drivers behind him? Two drivers that drove in P1, drove a masterclass for quite some time. Safety cars came out and ruined their plans. It allowed SAFRL to come back into this race. Had to perform a double overtake to get the lead initially. He's lost the lead once or twice since then, but immediately taken it back. And is he going to be able to hold on to this lead when it counts the most on the final run to the line? Let's go down to the man in P2 rather, so we can get a good view. Of course, so difficult to defend here. He'll be having his battery all opened up, giving it his everything, but look how he's getting closer. Look how he's getting closer. Let's go to the leader. I think he's just got him. He has. He's just got him. 6 thousandths of a second. LSA will take the victory. It's SAFRL will be thinking, should have just put the battery on a few meters earlier. That's how close it was. Fricky over the line in P3, another LSA car, then SAFRL in P4 as well. Mr. Rem, P5. Then the top of the JPR cars, Nick Gishin, P6, another JPR car, P7, then Panda, JPR P8, Shane P9. All the JPR representatives. 6, 7, 8 and 9. We've got Divan for SKR, Spikes, P11, and the only driver we're waiting for has just gone over the line. That was Harsh Cartoon. And folks, we didn't get to see qualifying because technology failed us, but we did get to see the race, and what a race it was, right to the line. Nick Gishin gets driver of the day. And we're going to read through these results for you as quickly as we can, because we're probably going to get a timer and there's a lot of names. So Boy does take the victory, stole it right at the end, just 6 thousandths of a second. You're not going to get much closer than that. It's free. Would have thought he had it in the bag. He would have been nervous down that back straight. Would have thought he had it until split seconds before going over the line. Then we had Fricky in P3, Triple in P4, Mr. Rem P5, Nick Gishin P6, Lebby P7, Panda P8, Shane P9. Then we got Divan P10, Spikes 11, Harsh Cartoon 12. And that is the end of the finishers. In the retirements column, we've got Andre Skull, Awakes, Big T, Logic, and Convoy. Of course, thank you to everyone who joined us for the race. Now what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can get some of these drivers into the cool down room. Of course, the cool down room is on the NFR Discord server. You can join over there. Now, I've been having so many problems with technology this evening that I'm going to ask you're patient with me one last time so we can try and get into Discord ourselves. Of course, if we do find people in the cool down room, we'll bring them into the comments box. We can have a bit of a chat after the race. Doesn't always happen though. Some of these guys, they're mic shy. They run away. We get left without any interviews. The sponsors would not be impressed. Of course, if it's your first visit to the channel, don't leave without subscribing. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We broadcast between 3 and 4 races a week on this channel. So if you enjoy this sort of thing, it would be great to have you back soon. And of course, if you are a returning viewer, remember to leave a like on the video. Every single one helps us. We get seen on more news feeds, on more front pages. It just spreads the word about all these leagues just a little further. Hopefully I'll be in Discord in the next few seconds, and we can get this going. Oh, will you look at that? Now it doesn't want to open. I'm having a great time. Discord's just doing its own thing. My stream's just doing its own thing. Okay, well, the drivers have made it to the cooldown room before I've made it to the comms box. So hopefully they wait for me. I think it's just it's free. Can we get into? Can I get into my own comms box? There we go. I'm in my comms box. So I'm just going to bring It's Free in here. Let's just check that he is not muted. He is muted. So let's just do that. There we go. It's Free. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
What can you tell us about that? What can you tell us about that final stretch? 0.006 of a second.
Yeah, it's payback for yesterday, I guess.
A little bit of payback for yesterday. What was the gap yesterday?
0.007.
0.007. So 0.007 of a second for the victory yesterday. 0.006 of a second for the victory today. Sferry was on the right side of that yesterday. Not so much tonight, but still a good result. Think you guys would have been happy with that result?
Yeah, I knew from the start my quali pace is definitely far off. I did improve quite a bit from yesterday to today, but I mean, the whole lobby today is quicker, so I still, I think, only managed P9 or P10. So I knew just the race, take it one guy at a time. And luckily for me, some guy made mistakes, some guys crashed,
We also
and
had
we just kept it clean.
also had two big names dropping out right at the beginning of the race. That was that was Big T and Logic. Yeah, they dropped out very early on, and they were both contenders for the victory. So a messy race, but it's always a messy race. It's Baku, and I think just
Exactly, anything can happen. I mean, I had a huge crash in front of me as well. The cars didn't ghost, but luckily I didn't hit anyone, so I survived that.
I think just
So yeah,
finishing
I mean,
here
anything can
is.
happen.
Sorry, not a Fernando Alonso headline for some reason just popped up on my screen, and I was trying not to read it. But I want to thank everybody that has joined. Let's just have a look at the cool down room one more time, see if anybody else. It's free. That's not Mike Shy today. So I'm just going to end the stream. Thank you to everyone who joined the stream. Of course, we had endless problems in qualifying. We didn't even get a qualifying lap on the stream, unfortunately. So the stream is going to be from the 5 red lights. That's literally when we got in. It was when the guys were just about to pull off. So I want to thank you for your patience. I want to thank you for joining, all the likes, all the views, all the comments. Thank you very much. And this channel is going to take a bit of a break, and I never want to go back to Baku. So until next time, enjoy.
On the rise, on NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. one dream to take the lead. On in a fast lane, every second counts. And if the thrill always mounts. And if feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You live to NFR, feel the speed, the speed.
Monday night, the engines roar. SAFRL, we crave for more. 8 p.m., the battle wakes. Speed and drama, endless stakes. Tires screech on tarmac roads. Hearts are racing, heavy loads. Champions rise, some will fall. In this league, we give our all. Just drive, feel the power. It's our moment, it's our hour. SAFRL in sight. Monday night, we own the night. From the start to finish line, heroes made in record time. Drama high, emotions raw. Racing hearts, we want it all. Fans are shouting, lights are bright. Adrenaline fuels the fight. Every second counts, it's clear. In this league, there's no fear. Just drive, feel the power. It's our moment, it's our hour. SAFRL in sight. Monday night, we own the night. From the start to finish line, heroes made in record time. Drama high, emotions raw. Racing hearts, we want it all. One night, we want it all. The night. One night, we want it all. One night. One night.
NFR, it's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beat. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR, NFR. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star.